Irene Landini is an adjunct professor at the University of Trento, and she joins me now live from Italy. Professor, thank you very much for joining us here on TRT World. Let me begin by asking you, what is the significance of International Migrants Day?
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. So let's start immediately. So first of all, the International Migrants Day was established and proclaimed by the United Nations and the General Assembly of the United Nations on the 1st of December of the 2000. So a lot of years ago, I will say. And I will say that it is at the same time a symbol of recognition and also a commitment. So it is a recognition by the UN and the international community of the importance of migration and the contribution that migrants bring both to the host country, so the country they arrive finally and they start the new life, and to the countries they left from, so for the origin countries. At the same time, the establishment of these days, I will say it's also a commitment by the United Nations to improve the condition of migrants, both in the host countries and along the trips, the very dangerous trips that they do to come to the final destinations. And at the same time, the United Nations also wants to push states, so nation states, to improve their law and the regulations they have to, or they do not have in some cases,
Right.
To deal with migration.
Now, Professor, you mentioned improving the condition of migrants in host countries, but do you think host countries are actively doing enough to do so? Because reports tell us that the condition of migrants in host countries across the world remains dire.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And no, they are not doing enough. So any states, I will say, is doing enough to improve the condition of migrants. And we can see that simply by looking at how migrants live in the host countries all around the world, so both in Europe and South Europe and in the US and whenever in the world. So we see, first of all, even before arriving to the host countries, we have problems along the journeys, along the very dangerous trips they make to come to the final destination. We have cases, a lot of cases of abuses, of human trafficking and exploitation along the trips. And once you are in the migrants are in the host countries, they live in marginalized conditions, and so states are not doing enough. I would say that the international community, so everyone somehow is guilty because the international community was not able to promote, let's say, a more comprehensive approach to migration.
Indeed, the international community has to do more at this point. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Irene Landini, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World, and that's all for now. Do stay with us. Your headlines are next.